always pushing health, wealth, better understanding self, and giving praise to the Most High. So this Tory Lanez new evidence has came out there where people said that he may be getting out of jail because it's new evidence that proves that he wasn't a shooter. Now, shout out to everybody in the channel, all of the new subscribers that subscribe to the channel. I know I like to stand on business and make sure marketing stand on code for the culture, okay? Because it's very important to us, me, and everybody who watch the channel. So I appreciate the new subscribers we got, everybody who been rocking with me for a long time. I'm gonna stay down and stay doing what I'm doing. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Shabazz, the people who've been supporting the channel. Captain Private, Nikki P, Afine, who've been, supporting the Cash App and been just, telling me to keep going and keep pushing, man. I very much appreciate y'all. So check it. Tory Lanez, right? I got sent this video by a couple. Oh my gosh, shout out to Trail Jackson. Shout out to J Cap, Cuzzo. He sent me this video by Tory Lanez and he was like, yeah, man, it looks like he ain't do the shooting. And we know in our history, right, we've been having a lot of people that's been in our prison system that didn't do the crime, but they did the time and then they got released later. Like, nah, they didn't do it. So we're familiar with black people coming out of jail that's not guilty of the charge, but for some reason they got found guilty. So it's an unfortunate situation. Now, how I feel about it, I'm gonna go over this video. If this is true, I think people need to go to jail. That's the only way I feel it could be right, is you need to see how it feels to sit in jail on something that, you shouldn't be sitting in jail on. That's the only way people will learn their lesson. If this man didn't do anything and he's sitting in jail about false testimonies and people lying on him, the people that's lying on him need to go to jail, in my opinion. Okay, you need to do some time. But let's check out this video. I'm going to give y'all what I think about it and how I feel like this kind of relates to other people that can go to jail just off of spite, with people having, people being upset with them and they could just go to jail. Without further ado, let's get it. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it.
Tory Lanez recovers in a hospital after a prison stabbing attack. His father and supporters gathered today to demand his release.
The former rapper was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Fox 7's Christy Fajardo tells us about the claim of new evidence.
Bringing it to light now was made necessary by the events of this week.
Just days after rapper Tory Lanez, also known as Daystar Peterson, was attacked in prison, his attorneys are calling on Governor Newsom to pardon or commute his sentence, insisting they have new evidence Lanez didn't shoot superstar Megan Thee Stallion, but it was instead her former best friend, Kelsey Harris. And they say Harris's one-time bodyguard, Bradley James, was spurred by conscience to come forward.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody.
Walter Roberts says the statement aligns with another witness who saw 2 women fighting. Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence after being convicted of shooting Stallion in the Hollywood Hills back in 2020. The singer testified against Lanez and in an op-ed wrote, quote, "Even as a victim, I have been met with skepticism and judgment. We didn't hear back from Stallion's attorney and couldn't reach Harris for comment." Lanez's lawyers say they've had the new evidence for months and were waiting on the appeals court to rule, but went public after he was stabbed in prison.
He was stabbed 14 times.
The rapper's father, Sunstar Peterson, says his son is recovering remarkably well, but recounted the story Lanez told him.
And I quote, "Dad, I thought it was my last. And having made my peace with God, I said, okay, God, is this how it's supposed to end for me?" But God said no. God told him, "Do not give up."
The family and legal team insist Lanez was never given a fair trial, raising questions about the prosecution and investigation, but now say Lanez can't wait for the appellate process to play out.
So they fighting for him, you know. They feel that, I don't know if this is gonna do anything, but maybe that evidence can be, you know, but a jury actually convicted him, you know, and he ain't take no plea. This is actually what a jury did. So it's just hard for me to feel that this is just because somebody's saying it, they just gonna let him out. Now, I feel like if this really happened, and it's believable, you know, it's kind of believable that, you know, somebody could say, look, man, I feel like what they doing to that boy is wrong. And I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be the one that's sitting there knowing that what's the truth, and I got somebody else doing 10 years and possibly losing their life. That ain't cool. But I think this been happening with people, and I think it could continue to happen as we seeing. And I'm not a fan of Diddy, but I just feel like a one-man Rico. I feel like somebody is doing something out of spite, you know. And the judicial system, the prison system, has been the biggest enemy of, you know, melanated men. So I feel like it's definitely something that I hope he look into, and I hope if he innocent that they free that man and get him out of there, because being in that cage is nothing. It ain't right if you ain't guilty for what, you know, you've been charged with. So it's a tough situation to be in. But like I said, man, this is the way of the land right now. And, you know, until we get the right power structure on this land, I think we can always be mistreated. I think we can always be finessed out of the system, and, you know, people can do a lot of things and they can use that system against us. So that's how I see it. We're gonna see how it plays. Saluting, I ain't gonna say condolences, he didn't pass, but we're wishing Tory Lanez well in a healthy recovery by being stabbed 14 times. And people are saying that it was a Mexican guy in prison. And I watch a lot of Red Supreme, and he talk about the Mexican blacks and how they, you know, do a lot of gang activity against the black people in jail. So to be wrongfully accused of being in jail and possibly losing your life, it's not right. That's the worst that could happen, you know. So I'll keep your prayers for Tory Lanez. Hopefully he can get a successful recovery, and maybe they can get the right people that's involved and that was shooting her, you know, and get real justice. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Do you think Tory Lanez is gonna get off? I want to know what y'all think. Or do you think this ain't big enough? They still gonna railroad him with the 10 years, and there's nothing he could do. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
You are totally dependent on other people to take care of your needs because you don't have those roots sunk into the ground. To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control four basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.